You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network. I'm Nicolas Castianos. NL Central matchup getting underway here between the Chicago Cubs and the Cincinnati Reds. The Cubs still looking for a wild card spot in the National League. They don't have one yet, but they still have a chance to make playoffs. They're a game back of the second wild card spot. See Chris Bryant on the right, Luis Castillo on the left. And there is Luis Castillo. He's on the mound tonight for the Reds. In 21 starts this year, he has a 5-7 record with a .473 earned run average, and he's also struck out 117 batters, a respectable amount. And leading off tonight for the Cubs will be Daniel Descalzo, veteran middle infielder, batting .286 with 9 home runs and 42 RBIs entering play. First pitch of the ball game is called a strike on Descalzo, and it's 0-1. Now the Reds are fourth in the NL Central. They have a 48-70 record. They have the third worst record in the National League, and they are 14.5 games back of the wild card spot. So they're not mathematically eliminated yet, but their chances are becoming slimmer as time goes on. That pitch fouled off, the count 0-2. Descalzo has the 5th best on-base percentage in the National League. His on-base percentage is .405 entering play. And he belts that pitch out toward right field. Back goes Eugenio to the track. He makes the catch up against the wall. So 1 out. And with that, we'll look at the starting lineup for the Chicago Cubs. The top 3 players in the lineup are entering free agency after this season, as is Jon Lester, the starting pitcher for the Cubs in this game. But the Cubs very well might sign them back and keep the franchise faces around, or very well might go in another direction and try to rebuild. The Cubs went from division leaders in 2016 and 17 to making the wild card game and losing in 2018, and then just not making playoffs at all in 2019. The Cubs went ahead and got rid of their manager, Joe Maddon, who led them to the 2016 World Series and won the World Series. The Cubs now have a new manager in David Ross, who, for the first time in his career, is managing a Major League Baseball team. He was a part of the Cubs in 2016 when they won the World Series. He and Jon Lester were battery mates both in Boston and when they both came to Chicago. The Cubs signed Lester on a mega deal, and then David Ross came in on a smaller deal, but those two worked together well as that pitch is fouled off. Jon Lester is still in the starting rotation for the Cubs. He got injured earlier this year, but he's come back and he has the start in this game. As that's into right field, a base hit. So Chris Bryant beats the shift and gets on base. First hit of the ball game. And with that, that'll bring up Anthony Rizzo, who's gotten hot ever since July. .277 hitter with 24 home runs and 69 RBIs entering play. Rizzo has the most home runs on the Cubs as of right now. Rizzo started in the Red Sox minor league organization, was traded to the Padres where he made his debut in 2011. Then he got traded to the Cubs and started his career in Chicago in 2012. That's called a strike, count 0-1. He's since become an all-star over the years. He made an all-star appearance this season. And in the all-star game, he was the one that got the go-ahead hit for the National League in the 7th inning. The National League ended up winning the all-star game for the first time since 2012. It's a no-ball, 2-strike count on the Cubs' first baseman. Castillo's pitch is hit well into right center on a line. It clears the wall. That ball is gone. Anthony Rizzo extends his Cubs leading home run total to 25. 2-run home run, and the Cubs have an early 2-0 lead over the Reds. Let's check out where that ball was pitched. You can see high-low from this angle, just below belt high. Rizzo kind of went down and got that, but it was a straight pitch, came in flat. And Rizzo sent it over the wall, so 2-0 Cubs. And here's the cleanup hitter, Kyle Schwarber, the power-hitting left-handed outfielder, 246 hitter with 18 homers and 62 RBIs entering play. One ball, no strike count. So this is game one of a two-game set between these two teams. The Reds are starting a six-game homestand tonight. They're playing two against the Cubs, and then they're going into a four-game series against the Pirates before going on the road again. As that's fouled off, the count now 2-1. As for the Cubs are on a road trip right now, and they're having their road trip spread out. So they've played 3 in Milwaukee. They had an off day yesterday. They're playing 2 here in Cincinnati. Then they have an off day on Thursday before starting a weekend series against the Blue Jays before going back home and starting a 7-game homestand. That's ball 4. Kyle Schwarber is walked, and Luis Castillo struggling early. Gave up a single and a home run. And now he's walked Kyle Schwarber, so the number 5 hitter will come to the plate for the Cubs in David Bodie. Bodie starting this game at shortstop, batting .274 with 10 homers and 37 RBIs entering play. He's been a pretty good offensive substitute for Javier Baez, who is still on the injured list for the Cubs. Baez dislocated his shoulder a couple months ago, and he's been on the injured list ever since. That's grounded to Votto. To Galvez for 1, back to Votto covering double play, out at second Schwarber, out at first Bodie, and that ends the top of the first. But the Cubs have an early lead thanks to this 2-run home run by Anthony Rizzo after a half inning. It's the Cubs 2 and the Reds coming to bat. And on the mound for the Cubs, Jon Lester, veteran left-handed pitcher, former Boston Red Sox and Oakland Athletic. This season in 13 starts he has a 4-6 record with a .527 earned run average. Again, Lester was hurt for about a month and a half earlier in the year. He joined the rotation nearly a month ago again, so that's why he doesn't have as many starts as some of his teammates.
Leading off for the Reds, the center fielder.
And he'll face Jesse Winker to begin the bottom of the first. Swinging a foul ball, the count 0-1. But Jon Lester has been a part of 3 World Series champion teams. He played for the 2007 Boston Red Sox when they won it. He was in his younger years there. He also won it with them in 2013. Then he got traded to the Athletics, signed with the Cubs in the 2014-15 offseason, and after 1 year with the Cubs and his second season with the Cubs, he won the World Series in 2016. The Cubs are 62-57 entering play. They still have a chance to win the division. They're 6.5 games back of the Cardinals for first place. Right now, the wild card standings are literally right in front of them. The Cubs are a game back of the second wild card spot in the National League. Right now, the second wild card spot is tied between 2 teams, the Marlins and the Padres, who each have 63-56 records, and the Nationals have the first wild card spot. They're 66-53. The Nationals were the leaders in the NL East for the majority of the year, but the Braves snuck in and took the division lead from them. The Nationals are now a game back in the NL East for first place. That pitch misses upstairs. That's ball 4. Jesse Winker aboard. We'll start the bottom of the first. But the Cubs are tied with the Diamondbacks right now. They each have 62-57 records, and they're both a game back of the National League wildcard standings. And there are a couple other teams, or there's one other team specifically that has a legitimate playoff shot. The Phillies are 60-60, and they're 3.5 games back of that second wildcard spot. So really, it's a 6-team race right now for the wildcard standings. Joey Votto at the plate, 307 hitter entering play. In the top 15 in the National League with that batting average, and he takes strike 1. Votto getting close to 300 career home runs. One of the best pure hitters in Major League Baseball, regarded by many. And unfortunately for him, the Reds have not had too much playoff success since he's been around. He was in the playoffs for the Reds in 2010, also in 2013. One ball, one strike count. That's fouled off, the count now 1-2. but it's a tight wild card race, and 2 of the 3 National League divisions are up for grabs as well. The Cardinals have a 6.5 game lead over the Cubs, which is a good lead, but one that's not inconquerable. The Nationals are a game back of the Braves for the NL East lead. So the only division lead right now that seems to be a lock is in the NL West. The Los Angeles Dodgers have over 15 games on the Padres, the second place team in the division. Votto strikes out there. That's out number 1. So John Lester walked Jesse Winker, then here he is striking out Joey Votto. And so the number 3 hitter will come to the plate for the Reds. It is Nicolas Castianos. Castianos just signed with the Reds, though the most recent team he's played for is the Chicago Cubs, batting .301 this year with 21 home runs and 65 RBIs. He started his career with the Detroit Tigers, but was traded before the deadline last season to the Cubs. Tried to help them get a postseason push going, but they didn't make playoffs. He hit free agency this past offseason and decided to sign with the Reds, who are also in the National League Central. Counts even 1-1. Again, the Cubs have tried to bring in players over the years at the trade deadline to help their team continue to stay successful, just like in 2018 when they brought in Daniel Murphy to play second base and act as a middle-of-the-order hitter. They lost in the wild card game and lost Murphy to free agency, signed with the Rockies. Same kind of deal with Castellanos. They brought him in, tried to bolster the lineup. They didn't make playoffs, and then Castellanos hit free agency, so they've had 2 rentals that haven't gotten them past a wild card game in the last 2 years. 2-ball, 2-strike count. John Lester pitching to Nicolas Castianos. And he got him swinging. That's out number 2.
Batting 4.
So Lester walked a batter, then struck out Votto and Castellanos. Winker still on first. 2 outs now in the bottom of the first inning, and that'll bring up Eugenio Suarez. Suarez batting .283 with 32 home runs and 90 RBIs entering play. He has the 3rd most home runs in the National League with 32, and those 90 RBIs are good for 3rd in the National League as well. He's gotten hot ever since the All-Star break, which has brought him into not only the top 10 or the top 5 in the NL, but the top 3 in several categories. 1-ball, 1-strike count on the third baseman of the Reds. Last game he went 1 for 4. The Reds also had an off day, though, yesterday. Both of these teams had an off day yesterday, so they're both working on 1 day's rest. 1-ball, 1-strike count. And that hit him. Eugenio Suarez hit by the pitch. And that puts 2 on now with 2 out. Yeah, it was Lester just losing a slider there, and it got Suarez by the hip. Not a bad place to get hit. And he seems okay, so still 2 outs, bottom of the first, and here comes the number 5 hitter in the Reds order, Mike Moustakis, batting .256 with 16 home runs and 67 RBIs entering play. Moustakis, former Kansas City Royal and Milwaukee Brewer. He just signed with the Reds this past offseason, and a move that was risky when it was announced by the Reds club, but Moustakis, who had played third base for most of his career, was switching to be primarily a second baseman, and he's been playing second base for most of this season. 0-1 pitch popped into the air. Caratini is standing under it. Gauges it, makes the catch, and the first inning comes to an end. So no runs on no hits, 1 walk, and 1 hit by pitch in the inning. And after 1 full inning of play, the Reds trail the Cubs 2-0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up in the Cubs' order to begin this half inning. Jason Hayward, Ian Happ, and Victor Caratini. Anthony Rizzo hit a 2-run home run in the top of the first inning that gave the Cubs an early 2-0 lead, and they still have a lead coming into the second inning. Still early, but the Cubs on top. Luis Castillo made it through 5 hitters in that first inning. As that ball's grounded to Rizzo, steps on first base himself. That is out number 1. But Castillo was lucky enough, fortunate enough to get a double play. Kyle Schwarber was on first with 1 out. 2 runs were already in. But David Bodie grounded into a double play, which ended the inning and limited the damage. There's the number 7 hitter and center fielder for the Cubs, Ian Happ. He takes strike 1. Happ, a switch hitter, batting from the left side, and lifetime, he has 5 hits off of Luis Castillo. Both these players still relatively young. And provided they continue to stay in the same division, they'll be seeing each other plenty more times. No ball, 2 strike count. High and in. Counts now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Ian Happ at the plate. Cubs up 2-0. Here's the pitch. Got him to chase. That's out number 2. Off-speed pitch that just darted downward at the last minute. And Castillo with 1 strikeout down. That's out number 2 in the top of the second. 2 outs, top of the second. Here comes the number 8 hitter in the Cubs order, Victor Caratini. He's doing the catching, and he's also a switch hitter, batting from the left side in this plate appearance. Grounded foul at the count 0-1. Caratini doing the catching because Wilson Contreras is still on the injured list for the Cubs. He should be back, though, within the next week or 2. He hurt his knee about 2 months ago, but his injured list time is coming to a close, and he very well might be back in the Cubs starting lineup as early as next week. That's into right center field. Caratini on his way to second, and he's in there easily. That's a 2-out double for Caratini. He's in scoring position for John Lester, who's coming to the plate.
John Lester.
That was an off-speed pitch that came right over the middle. And Caratini punished it. Found a gap and got himself extra bases. So at the very least, the pitcher will not be leading off next inning for the Cubs. There's John Lester at the plate with a runner in scoring position and 2 away. Lester with a 200 average. He also has a run batted in this year. Lester not known for his offensive abilities, but this season he's reached a peak. 1 ball, no strike count. That finds the zone. The count's 1-1. Lester started his career in the American League, so it's not too surprising that he's not one to swing a bat well. One ball, 1 strike count. That's inside. Counts 2-1. And he started his career with the Red Sox, won a couple World Series with them. Then as his contract was coming to an end, the Red Sox acquired Eugenio Suarez for Lester, who started the wild card game in 2014 against the Royals. A game that became infamous for Athletics fans because they lost the lead to the Royals, who eventually came back in extras and won it. Went all the way to the World Series. But then Lester signed with the Cubs, played his first season with them in 2015, and won a World Series the very next year as a part of a rotation that was elite, including Jake Arrieta, Kyle Hendricks. Three ball, 2 strike count. That's outside and ball 4. John Lester works a walk. Castillo not looking very sharp in these first couple innings. Give up 2 runs and 3 base runners in the top of the first inning, and here in the second, give up a 2-out double and then walked John Lester, the opposing pitcher. Here's Daniel Descalzo as the Cubs find their top of the order for the second straight inning. Counts 1-0 on Descalzo. Flew out to the warning track and right. Back in the first inning. Now this is a stadium as well that favors hitters more than pitchers. Short walls everywhere, but especially in right field. That is a place where home runs travel frequently, especially off left-handed bats. Hitters count on Descalzo. 2 balls, no strikes. Grounded left side, played by Galvez at short. Flips to Moustakis covering second. Out at second is Lester, and that ends the Cubs' threat in the top of the second. So no runs scored by the Cubs on 1 hit, 1 walk in the inning, and 2 runners left on base. After 1.5 innings, the Cubs lead the Reds 2-0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicolas Castianos. Aristides Aquino, the first to bat for the Reds in this bottom of the second inning. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up. Aquino, then Freddie Galvez, then Tucker Barnhart. Aquino, one of the best young players in the National League. Came up last year just blasting home runs, and he's also a right fielder because he has a plus arm out there. This season, he's batting .245 with 14 home runs and 43 RBIs. That's a strike. Counts 1 and 2 on Aquino. Liz Boustuk, welcome to MLB Virtual Network again. I'm sure you're cheering on your Cubs in this game, and you're happy to hear that they already have a 2-0 lead. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Oh, also, I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Having a good day today. 1-2 pitch is fouled off. The count still 1 and 2 on Aquino, leading off this bottom of the second inning. The Cubs got their lead in the top of the first. Anthony Rizzo hit a 2-run home run. As Aquino grounds out to second, backhanded by Descalzo. Throws to Rizzo, that's out number 1. So 1 out, bottom of the second, and that'll bring up the number 7 hitter in the Reds order. It's Freddie Galvez. Galvez, a switch hitter, batting from the right side of the plate. He's a .244 average with 15 home runs and 50 RBIs entering play. Galvez, a former Philadelphia Philly, San Diego Padre, Toronto Blue Jay, and Toronto Blue Jays. Played for 3 separate teams before making his way over to the Reds. He signed with the Reds in free agency. The Reds have been fumbling with shortstops. They used to have Zach Cozart as their starting shortstop for several years, and Cozart was a good offensive shortstop. Played well defensively, too, but they lost him to free agency a couple seasons ago. So they tried to bring in Jose Iglesias. They signed him on a minor league deal last year, and Iglesias played shortstop for the better part of the year for the Reds, but they lost him to free agency and then signed Galvez. And now Galvez has been fielding the position, though his offensive numbers haven't been spectacular. He's still a solid defensive shortstop. That ball fouled off. Counts 2 and 2. Two-two pitch. On the ground left side. Bryant is there. Throws to Rizzo, and Rizzo has to pull that one down, but he does successfully. So Galvez out at first. There are now 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning.
The catcher, Tucker Barnhart.
So that'll bring up Tucker Barnhart. 2 outs, bottom of the second inning. That's up high, counts 1-0. Tucker Barnhart in his last game went 1 for 4. Again, the Reds are starting a 6-game homestand today. They got an off day yesterday, but in their most recent series, they got swept by the Cardinals in 3 games. That was over this past weekend. Counts 1 and 2 now on Barnhart. 1 ball, 2 strike count, 2 outs, bottom of the second. The Cubs have a 2-0 lead over the Reds. This is an NL Central matchup between the Cubs, who are a game back of the second wildcard spot in the National League, and the Reds, who have the 3rd worst record among NL teams. Swing and a miss. Tucker Barnhart down on strikes. That ends the second inning. So the Reds get no runs on no hits and leave no runners on base after 2 full innings. It's a 2-0 Cubs lead over the Reds in this NL Central matchup. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicolas Castianos. 2, 3, 4 hitters do it for the Cubs in this half inning. Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, and Kyle Schwarber. Strike 1 taken by Bryant, former Rookie of the Year back in 2015, and he also won the NL Most Valuable Player Award in 2016. He spent his entire career with the Cubs. In his last at bat, he hit a single, which was followed by Anthony Rizzo hitting a home run, which gave the Cubs their lead. That's a high fly ball out to left center. Under it is Jesse Winker. He makes the catch. And that's 1 quick out to start the top of the 3rd inning.
The first baseman,
So as Rizzo comes to the plate, just a reminder, too, the Cubs might be seeing a whole new face to their team. they're losing that core that got them that World Series in 2016, and they're losing that core that's made playoffs, that did make playoffs from 2015 to 2018. Daniel Descalzo, among others, but Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo and John Lester are all hitting the free agent market after this season. So the Cubs starting to be needing to plan who they're going to try to sign back, who they might try to sign to replace, or who they might try to develop to replace some of the players that have been franchise faces for the last few seasons. Anthony Rizzo's been around the Cubs since 2012, and Chris Bryant, again, he won the Rookie of the Year in 2015 for how well he did, and then he helped the Cubs to a World Series the very next year, and then took home a Most Valuable Player award with it. So Chris Bryant expected to be paid a healthy amount of money in free agency. Anthony Rizzo very well might be paid well, too. He's had some up and down years, but this year he's made the All-Star game, and right now he's leading the Cubs in home runs with 25. That pitch misses down low. Anthony Rizzo takes ball 4. So he's on base with 1 out in the top of the third. Castillo up to 40 pitches now through 2 1/3 innings as Kyle Schwarber comes to the plate. But Rizzo and Bryant and Lester, 2 of the big names, but Daniel Descalzo also hitting free agency at the end of this year. And that's important. Ever since Javier Baez got injured, the Cubs had to rework their lineup, and Descalzo this season has consistently had an on-base percentage over 400. In fact, entering play today, he has an on-base percentage of 405. That doesn't include his first couple at bats, but he's been a catalyst at the top of this Cubs order, getting on base, setting the table for them to score runs. So I'd argue he's an important piece as well, a veteran middle infielder for this team. Counts 2-0 on Schwarber. Two ball, no strike count on Schwarber. He takes strike 1. Anthony Rizzo on first base. But the Cubs to start the year had Bryant leading off, Rizzo batting second, and Baez batting third. The rest of the lineup was still pretty consistent with what it is now. But when Baez got injured, the lineup got reworked, so Rizzo started batting third. Bryant was put second in the order, and Descalzo became the leadoff hitter. That's close to the foul pole, and that ball, that stays fair. That's gone. Home run for Kyle Schwarber. So it's now 4-0. The Cubs extend their lead over the Reds. A couple 2-run home runs have given them 4 total. Watch this, right down the middle. Schwarber handles that well. He has a swing that is designed to elevate pitches. And he hit that pitch high and deep out to right. It was just a matter of fair or foul, and it did indeed stay fair. So Castillo, 4 earned runs given up in less than 3 full innings on the mound. Here's David Bodie, grounded into a double play in his first at bat. Counts 1-0. Bodie playing shortstop for Javier Baez. Already mentioned that he's still on the injured list. Baez dislocated his shoulder about 2 months ago. He's still got 2 to 3 weeks on the injured list before potentially coming back and joining the Cubs lineup again. Wilson Contreras still on the injured list as well, and it's likely that the Cubs could make a postseason push if they get those players back in the lineup, but the Cubs have still been managing well, even though they've lost key pieces to their lineup and their rotation when John Lester was on the injured list during the middle of the year, and they've been managing well without Contreras and without Baez in the lineup, and look at that. That ball is gone. David Bodie with a solo home run. 3 home runs off Luis Castillo in the first 3 innings. The Cubs now lead it 5-0 on Bodie's 11th of the season. That's another pitch, middle. way out of here. Castillo's still on the mound, but he's given up 3 homers and 5 earned runs in the first 3 innings of this game. Now here's Jason Hayward. Hayward fouls that pitch off the count, 0-1. It's likely, too, that if Bryant doesn't sign back with the Cubs in this coming offseason, the Cubs still have a legitimate replacement in David Bodie, who consistently plays third base. He's just filling in for shortstop because Baez is on the injured list. But if Bryant decides not to sign back with the Cubs and goes elsewhere, the Cubs still have David Bodie, who could very easily man that third base position. He's a great hitter and is pretty good defensively. Counts 2-1. Jason Hayward at the plate. Hayward signed an 8-year contract with the Cubs in the 2015-2016 offseason, so he's still got a few more years left on that. So he'll be around for the next few seasons. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Down low counts, full 3-2. Hayward's offensive production hasn't been too great since being a Cub, but he's still an outstanding defensive outfielder and does well with a plus arm out and right. 3-ball, 2-strike count. 2 high, that's ball 4, and Jason Hayward reaches base on a walk. Castillo continues to struggle. He's over 50 pitches now.
The center fielder, number 8, Ian Happ.
There comes Ian Happ. Last inning he struck out. 0 for 1 officially. His team up 5-0 though. That's looked like a hanging off speed pitch. Found the zone. Counts 0-1. Last game Happ went 0 for 5. The Cubs in their most recent series took 2 of 3 from the Brewers. The Cubs have had a mixed August so far. They swept the Brewers in a 3-game series, and then in the very next series, they lost 4 in a row to the Braves. They got swept. So they did the sweeping, then they got swept, and then they won a 3-game series against the Brewers. They're starting 1 of 2 tonight against the Reds. This is game 1 of a 2-game set between these two division rivals. Swing and a foul ball. The count's still 1-2 on Happ, the center fielder of the Cubs. And that pitch, this is inside. That looked like a breaking ball that got away from Castillo.
Now batting, the catcher, Victor Caratini.
Hit him right in the middle of the back. Not a dangerous place to get hit. Nothing too serious there, just stings a bit. Castillo has been all over the place in these first 3 innings. And yeah, he will not be allowed to go any further. David Bell replaces Castillo with Wade Miley. In 15 games this year, he has a 2-5 record with a 4.06 ERA. Miley, a veteran left-handed pitcher, just signed with the Cubs this past offseason. And look at that, Barnhart and Caratini sharing some words. 2 catchers, the umpire getting in the middle of that. I wonder what that's about. Nothing that is elongated. So first and second for the Cubs, 1 out. Hayward on second. And Happ on first. Caratini, switch hitting catcher, batting from the right side. He had a double in his first at bat, which was last inning. But Miley on the mound, he was signed to be a starting pitcher. Though he struggled in some of his starts, then hit the injured list, came back, still struggled, so the Reds moved him into the bullpen. And right now the Reds have one of their top prospects now in the rotation, Hunter Green. Has pitched in the major leagues. His that pitch misses home. He made his major league debut about a week ago. But he's now in the Reds starting rotation, and the Reds displaying one of their young stars. And Miley, the veteran, now in the bullpen, completing this job, which is to come in a long relief role and support a starting pitcher who may have struggled. And Castillo has struggled in this game. 5 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings pitched. Grounded to Suarez. He could not tag Jason Hayward going to third. He bobbled the ball initially, but does throw Caratini out at first.
Now batter.
So the Reds do get it out on the play. 2 outs, top of the third, but Hayward now at third base and Happ now at second. They're both in scoring position, and here comes Jon Lester. So again, the Cubs catch a break. At the very least, Lester won't have to bat to start off the 4th inning. Lester walked in his first plate appearance. That was last inning. It really epitomizes Castillo's start in this game. He walked Jon Lester.
Yep, that ball went out.
Walked quite a significant amount of batters. Also hit one. 5 earned runs charged to Castillo in 2 1/3 innings pitched. He gave up 3 home runs, a couple 2-run home runs, one to Rizzo and one to Schwarber, and then following the Schwarber home run this very inning, he gave up a solo home run to David Bodie. Jon Lester is the 8th batter to hit for the Cubs in this top of the 3rd inning. That's strike 1. Chris Bryant got out to begin this top of the 3rd. Then Rizzo walked. Schwarber hit a 2-run homer. And then Bodie hit a solo home run. 2 ball, 1 strike count. That is swung on and hit, but foul down the right side. So the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two pitch. That's popped into the air out toward left. Castianos running under it. He makes the catch around foul territory, and that ends at the top of the 3rd. So the Cubs get 3 more runs thanks to 2 home runs in that half inning, 1 from Schwarber and 1 from Bodie. After 2.5 innings, the Cubs lead the Reds. It's 5-0. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicolas Castianos. 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Reds in this half inning. Wade Miley, Jesse Winker, and Joey Votto. And Luis Castillo got the hook so early that he didn't record a plate appearance in this game. Miley now pitching for the Reds out of the bullpen. Replaced Luis Castillo, who pitched 2 1/3 innings. Gave up 5 earned runs. Swung on and fouled off, the count 0-2. On the contrary, Jon Lester, his mound opponent, pitched 2 scoreless innings. Gave up 1 base runner. Actually gave up a couple base runners.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
No hits given up yet, though, for Jon Lester. He's ahead of Miley. 1 ball, 2 strike count. This is game 1 of a 2-game set. The Reds are starting a 6-game homestand. That's too high. Count even 2-2. 2 ball, 2 strike count. That's fouled off, so Miley extending this plate appearance. Just fouling off pitches. Count still even 2-2. Swing and a miss. That's out number 1. Jon Lester has 4 strikeouts now. 1 out, bottom of the 3rd. Like this one out again, a breaking ball. That caught the middle of the zone, but Miley not able to hit it. Not too surprising, though he is a pitcher, so that's all right. But here comes Jesse Winker, who walked in his first plate appearance. I was back in inning number 1, batting for the 2nd time against Lester. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Ground ball through the right side of the infield, base hit for Jesse Winker, and the Reds have their first hit of the ball game.
The first baseman, number 19, Joey Votto.
There comes the number 2 hitter now in the Reds order, their first baseman, Joey Votto. He's won multiple Silver Slugger awards for first baseman in the National League. He's the most valuable player of the National League in the 2010 season. And he takes strike 1 there from Lester. No ball, one strike count with Jesse Winker on first base. Winker's reached twice on Lester in this game and got the Reds their first hit. And now Votto slices that one into left. That falls fair. Winker headed for third base. Votto on his way to second as Schwarber gets that one in quickly. But each runner able to advance 2 bases, so it's second and third now with one out in the bottom of the third. And check this pitch out on the show motion. Votto was a bit late on that pitch, but squared it up with the bat, got it on the barrel, and hit it on the line drive into left field, and it stayed fair. Here comes Nicolas Castianos, 300 hitter with 21 home runs and 65 RBIs. Struck out back in the first inning, so it's dropped his average slightly. No ball, one strike count. Sharp grounder played by Descalzo, throws to Rizzo for the out. Castianos out at first, but Winker's able to come in and score from third base. It's 5-1. The Reds get on the board. Votto advances from second to third on the play, but Castianos squared this up well for a low pitch. That's where you want to hit it, on a line drive, perhaps on the ground. That ball did hit the ground once. One hop to Descalzo, who had enough time to throw Castianos out at first. And Winker was able to score from third base. So the Reds have a run. They're still down 4, though. It's 5-1. And that'll bring up the number 4 hitter in the order for the Reds. It's Eugenio Suarez. Suarez was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance. That was back in the first inning. He's batting here with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. And Joey Votto is standing on third base. That pitch misses too high. Counts 1-0. Suarez has the third most hits on the Reds with 125. He also has the most homers on the Reds. He has 32 home runs entering play. He's 11 behind the National League leader in homers, Ronald Acuna Jr. Acuna Jr. up to 43 now, and Paul Goldschmidt second best in the National League. Goldschmidt has 40 homers. Swinging a foul ball, count 2-1. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Suarez has, again, the third most home runs in the National League with 32, and he has the third most RBIs as of right now with 90. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Mike Moustakis would bat next. Lester does have a couple bases open. 3-1, here it is. Breaking ball too far outside, that's ball 4. So Suarez gets a free pass. John Lester with a better matchup now coming to the plate. Mike Moustakis, who's a left-handed hitter. He popped out back in inning number 1, getting his second plate appearance in here. That's strike 1. Mike Moustakis was part of that Kansas City Royals team that beat the Oakland Athletics when John Lester was on that team back in 2014 in the wild card game. Moustakis also a World Series champion. He was the third baseman of the Royals in 2015 as well when they beat the Mets. No ball, 2 strike count. Strike 3 called at the top of the zone. Mike Moustakis down looking. John Lester with another strikeout, and that one ends the third inning. The Reds do get a run, though, on a couple hits. And 1 runner was left in scoring position after 3 full innings. It's the Cubs 5 and the Reds 1. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicholas Callis, and there is Heidi Watney, who is just practicing her lips syncing again, so that's all right. But the Cubs scheduled to bat in the top of the 4th inning, and their leadoff hitters are coming to the plate. Daniel Descalzo, Chris Bryant, and Anthony Rizzo. And this is for a ball, counts 1-0. Wade Miley still on the mound. Miley last inning replaced Luis Castillo. Castillo responsible for giving up all 5 Cubs runs. He just did not have his best stuff. Gave up 5 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings. And at the moment, he's in line for the loss. Still plenty of game left to play, but the Cubs with the early advantage. The Cubs got a 2-run home run from Anthony Rizzo in the top of the first inning. Then in the third inning, they got a 2-run home run from Kyle Schwarber and then a solo home run from David Bodie as that pitch misses. The Reds got a run in the bottom of the third inning. Jesse Winker hit a single, Joey Votto hit a double, and then Nicolas Castianos hit an RBI groundout, which scored Winker from third base. And Daniel Descalzo again doing well, getting on base. He stays patient and works out a walk. That pitch just missed off the inside edge. So Descalzo gets on to lead off the fourth inning, and now here comes Chris Bryant. Bryant singled back in the first inning, and his single was followed up by Anthony Rizzo's 2-run homer. 1 for 2 in total, though, and he's facing Wade Miley for the first time in this game. That swung on, fouled off. The count is 0-1. No ball, 1 strike count. That pitch misses outside. Count is 1-1. One ball, 1 strike count. That is up the middle and a base hit for Chris Bryant, who's now 2 for 3 in the game. Advancing from first to second on the play is Daniel Descalzo.
The first baseman, number 44, Anthony.
That pitch was right over the middle of the plate, and Bryant just sent it back where it came from. Line drive up the middle past the head of Wade Miley. So now runners on first and second for the Cubs with nobody out. And here comes Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo 1 for 1 in 2 plate appearances. He walked in his second. But back in the first inning, in his first official at bat, he had a 2-run home run. His 25th of the season. He leads the Cubs in home runs. No ball, 1 strike count. And that's hit well out toward left field. That ball's going to fall and one hop the wall. Descalzo rounds third. He'll try to score as Castianos gets that one in. The relay from Galvez is well too late. Descalzo scores from second. Advancing from first to second is Chris Bryant. And aboard at first with his second RBI of the game is Anthony Rizzo. It's now 6-1 Cubs. And a meeting coming out to the mound for Wade Miley. Miley now charged with an earned run. He came in with 1 out in the third inning. Got the final 2 outs of the third, but here in the fourth, he's allowed the first 3 hitters to get on base, one of which came around to score. He walked Descalzo, gave up a single to Chris Bryant, and then gave up an RBI single to Anthony Rizzo. No ball, 1 strike count on Schwarber. Schwarber walked in his first plate appearance, and then in his second plate appearance, he had a 2-run home run. Made it 4-0 Cubs at the time. Cubs have since scored 2 more. It's now 6-1. The Reds scored in the bottom of the third inning to get on the board. That made it a 4-run game, but the Cubs just got that run right back. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That is hit high out toward left field. Nicolas Castianos under it. He makes the catch. So 1 out. Now in the top of the fourth after Kyle Schwarber flies out.
The bat, number 13, shortstop.
It'll bring up David Bodie. Bodie hit a solo home run last inning in his second at bat. Now batting .275 with an OPS of .786. Playing shortstop in place of Javier Baez, though he's naturally a third baseman. Breaking ball right over the heart of the plate. Counts 0-1. No ball, 1 strike count. Just a bit inside, counts 1-1 on the young infielder for the Cubs. That's a high fly ball out towards center. High but not very far. Winker under it. Catch made. That's out number 2. Bryant stays right on second, and Rizzo didn't tag, but he retreats back to first.
Now back.
2 outs, top of the fourth. Still 2 runners on, and here comes Jason Hayward. Hayward walked in the third inning. He's 0 for 1 officially. 2 outs, Bryant on second, Rizzo on first. Toward the middle, played by Miley though on the mound. He protected his face and got the ball. Throws to Votto. Hayward out at first, and that ends the top of the 4th inning. But the Cubs get yet another run on an Anthony Rizzo RBI single. And after 3.5 innings, it's the Cubs 6 and the Reds 1. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicolas Castianos. 6, 7, 8 hitters do it for the Reds in this half inning. Aristides Aquino, Freddie Galvez, and Tucker Barnhart, the ones scheduled to bat for the Reds. That's fouled off the count 0-1. No ball, 1 strike count on the young outfielder for the Reds. Made his Major League debut last season. And he's got that one through the right side of the infield. That's a base hit for Aquino to open up the bottom of the 4th. So leadoff runner on for the Reds. Now that'll bring up their number 7 hitter, Freddie Galvez. Galvez, a switch hitter, batting from the right side, starting at shortstop for the Reds. He takes strike 1. Lester pitching with an early lead. He had a 2-run lead after the 1st inning. He had a 4-run lead. He had a 5-run lead after the 3rd. And he still has a 5-run lead after his team batted in the top of the 4th. The Reds got a run on the bottom of the 3rd on a Nicolas Castianos RBI groundout, but the Cubs got that run right back in the top of the 4th with an Anthony Rizzo RBI single. 6-1, Cubs over Reds, and that's a called strike 3. Fastball right over that inside edge. Lester has now struck out 6 batters in this game. 1 out, bottom of the 4th. So with that, the switch hitting catcher for the Reds, their number 8 hitter, Tucker Barnhart, comes to the plate. Barnhart batting from the right side. He's 0 for 1 against Lester in this game. 1 out, bottom of the 4th. Aquino on first. This is game 1 of a 2-game set between these two teams, and right now the Cubs have an early 6-1 lead. The Cubs fighting for a wild card spot. The Reds fighting to spoil the Cubs, their NL Central divisional opponents. The Reds have the 3rd worst record in the National League as Aquino is back safely at first. The Reds with the 3rd worst record in the National League. One of their division opponents, the Pittsburgh Pirates, have the worst record in the National League. They're at 44 wins as of today. Fly ball toward right. Hayward running after it. That ball is fair down the right field line. Hayward couldn't make the play. Aquino running to 3rd base. Barnhart stops at 2nd. That should be a double. Both runners in scoring position with 1 out. Now check this out. That pitch was right over the middle. Barnhart did not get a good part of the bat on the ball, but he hit it to a place out in right that was unreachable for Hayward and a place where the ball stayed fair. So 1 out, bottom of the 4th, and Wade Miley will bat. Takes ball 1 outside. Miley batted for the first time last inning, so he's getting his 2nd plate appearance in here. Luis Castillo did not get a chance to bat in this game. He got taken out before his spot in the lineup came to the plate. Castillo pitched 2 1/3 innings and gave up 5 earned runs. Miley responsible for the other earned run scored by the Cubs. 6 total runs for the Cubs, 1 for the Reds. 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out. Aquino on 3rd and Barnhart on 2nd. And Miley ahead in the count. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Just a bit outside, counts 3-0. Jesse Winker scheduled to bat next. Three balls, no strikes. And he walked him. That's ball 4. So Luis Castillo walked John Lester back in the 2nd inning, and John Lester returns the favor for the Reds. He just walked Wade Miley. So now the bases are loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th, and here's Jesse Winker, who was walked and singled off John Lester in this game. Over his last 8 games, Jesse Winker has driven in 6 RBIs. And this is a run-producing spot here. Bases loaded, less than 2 outs. And Lester behind now, 2 balls and no strikes. 6 straight balls thrown by Lester. Nowhere to put Winker, though. Lester pitching with a padding. It's a 5-run lead for the Cubs. But with one big swing of the bat, this game could be turned around. And Winker was swinging 2-0, just able to foul that one off. Couldn't hit it in play. Counts 2-1. Winker, the starting center fielder for the Reds. Still ahead in the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fouled off again. That evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swung on and hit well into right. Hayward back to make the catch. Aquino tags. He's going to try to score from third. The relay from Rizzo is late. Aquino scores from third base. Sacrifice fly credited to Jesse Winker, who has yet to get out in this game. That just charged as a plate appearance, but not as an at-bat. So Winker's still 1 for 1. He has an RBI now, and it's 6-2 Reds. Or excuse me, it's 6-2. The Reds are still trailing. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. There is Joey Votto. Tucker Barnhart still on second, and Wade Miley still on first. Votto doubled in his last at bat. Was a part of the run that scored for the Reds in the bottom of the 3rd inning. As Winker singled, Votto doubled, and then that's when Castianos hit the RBI ground out. Votto swings and fouls that pitch off. The count is 0-1. Votto has a couple milestones. He has 1,996 hits, and he also has 297 career home runs. That's toward left field, played by Schwarber out in left, and that ends the bottom of the 4th inning. But the Reds do get another run, thanks to a sacrifice fly from Jesse Winker. 4 full innings in the books. Here at Great American Ballpark, it's 6-2. The Cubs lead the Reds. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicolas Castianos. Bottom of the order due up for the Cubs in this half inning. Ian Happ, Victor Caratini, and John Lester. Happ, a switch hitter, batting from the right side of the plate now against the lefty Miley. 2 veteran left-handers going at it now. Luis Castillo pitched 2 1/3 innings and gave up 5 earned runs. He got taken out in the 3rd inning, replaced by Wade Miley, who has since given up 1 earned run. But the Reds still in this game. It hasn't been broken open to an uncontrollable level yet. Grounded left side, played by Suarez. Jump throw coming to Votto, but it's offline, and Happ safe at first base. That should likely be scored a hit.
Now batting, catcher.
That was a tough play for Suarez to make, and he couldn't make an accurate throw, which wasn't necessarily his fault. That does go down as a hit. Happ on first with a leadoff single, and now here comes Victor Caratini. Caratini 1 for 2. He doubled in the 2nd inning. The Cubs scored 2 in the 1st inning. They scored 3 in the 3rd, and then they scored 1 in the 4th. So far, Anthony Rizzo has 3 RBIs. Kyle Schwarber has 2, and David Bodie has 1 for the Cubs. Nicolas Castianos and Jesse Winker have the 2 RBIs in total for the Reds. Swing and a miss. Victor Caratini down on strikes. Miley took care of him quickly. That's out number 1.
Now batter.
Here comes the number 9 hitter, John Lester, who walked back in the 2nd inning. He has 4 hits this season. And he also has a run batted in. And he shows bunt. Potential sacrifice play on here. Votto tries for second. Thinks better of it, then just tags Lester out going down the first base line. So that will go down as a sacrifice for John Lester. No at-bat charge to him.
Descalzo.
So a well-placed bunt there. 2 outs, top of the 5th, and here is Daniel Descalzo. Descalzo 0 for 2. In 3 plate appearances, he walked in his in his other plate appearance and later scored. That pitch misses outside, counts 1-0. Descalzo in his last game went 0 for 2. Or excuse me, went 0 for 4. So that pitch misses outside, counts 2-0. In their last game, the Cubs lost to the Brewers 2-1. They did take 2 of 3 from the Brewers over the weekend as that one squeaks by the infield, base hit. Winker coming up throwing, and it's just a bit late. Happ slides in safely. It's now 7-2. The Cubs lead it. Just a soft ground ball up the middle, soft enough that the middle infielders couldn't get it in time, and Winker had to come up charging, and with Happ's speed, he's able to score from second base. So Descalzo gets his first hit of the game and gets himself an RBI. It's now 7-2. The Cubs continue to lead this one as Chris Bryant comes to the plate. Bryant has a couple singles in 3 at-bats in this game. Former Rookie of the Year and Most Valuable Player in the National League, and he's to be a free agent at the end of this season. The Cubs haven't signed him to an extension yet.
Nope, that's a ball. 2-0.
Not that it's guaranteed that they will, but they do have that option. Extensions can always be reached during a season. Bryant also somebody that could test the free agent waters and make a decent amount of money. Not Manny Machado or Bryce Harper money, but Bryant will be one of the top players in free agency coming up this offseason. That ball is hit out towards center, played by Jesse Winker. He makes the catch. And the top of the 5th inning is over. So the Cubs get another run on a Daniel Descalzo RBI single, and after 4.5 innings, it's the Cubs 7 and the Reds 2. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicolas Castianos, and there is Heidi Watney, who's saying some things, probably some poor things about the Reds, who are trailing by 5 at this moment. They've gotten a couple runs so far. They've scored in each of the last 2 innings, but they're trailing by 5 runs to the Cubs coming into this bottom of the 5th inning. They got their heart of the order coming to the plate. Nicolas Castianos, Eugenio Suarez, and Mike Moustakis. John Lester still pitching. It's 75 pitches now coming into this 5th inning. And he throws the first pitch ball to Castianos. You see Alec Mills and Ryan Tepera now warming up. 1 ball, no strike count on a player who used to play for the Cubs for a brief period of time, and he lines that pitch to Rizzo. That's out number 1.
The third baseman, number 7.
Castianos has scored up a couple balls in this game. Just they've been hit right at some players on the defensive side. That's out number 1. Here comes the cleanup hitter, Eugenio Suarez, who walked in his last plate appearance. That's taken for a strike, counts 0-1. Suarez formerly played in the Tigers organization. He was originally a shortstop, but since being with the Reds, he has played more third base than anything. And over the last couple seasons, he's established himself as one of the more powerful bats in the National League. And as of right now, he has the 3rd most home runs in the National League with 32, and he has the 3rd most runs batted in with 90. Count even 2-2. Suarez, a powerful right-handed bat. He also has a good enough arm to man the 3rd base position. That one grounded to the left side. Bryant plays, throws to Rizzo. In plenty of time. That's out number 2.
Now batting, the second baseman.
So 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. And here comes Mike Moustakis, who has struck out and popped out in this game. That's dropped his average down to 254. So has a 781 OPS, though, a respectable on-base plus slugging percentage. Moustakis batting with 2 outs and the base is empty. Moustakis has the 2nd most RBIs on the Reds with 67, behind Suarez, who has 90. No ball, 1 strike count. Lester now over 80 pitches. Broken bat pop-up right behind the plate. Caratini makes the play, and that ends the 5th inning. So the Reds go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fifth, and after 5 full innings of play, the Cubs still lead the Reds. It's 7-2. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicolas Castianos. 3, 4, 5 hitters to open the order for the Cubs. It's Anthony Rizzo, Kyle Schwarber, and David Bodie. Anthony Rizzo's 2 for 2. He also has 3 RBIs in this game. He had a 2-run home run back in the first inning. And he hit an RBI single in his last at bat. Counts no balls and 2 strikes. Wade Miley still on the mound. He's given up 2 earned runs since coming out of the bullpen. And Rizzo hits that pitch high out towards center. Jesse Winker seems to have a play. He makes the catch. And that's out number 1 in the top of the fifth. And with that, highest team ERAs. These are National League teams, but you see the Reds have the 3rd highest team ERA in the National League with a 4.65. The Pirates, an NL Central divisional opponent of both of these teams, the only team in the National League with a team earned run average over 5. And there are several statistics that could explain to you why the Pirates have the worst record in the National League as of right now. But the Pirates, fortunate enough not to be the Royals at this point in the season. The Royals have the worst record in the American League, and the Royals haven't reached 40 wins yet. They're still at 39. The Royals on pace to be the first team in Major League Baseball to be mathematically eliminated from winning a division. Also on pace to be the first team in Major League Baseball to be eliminated from the playoffs outright. The Pirates not too far behind, but they have a higher elimination number. There's still a mathematical chance that the Pirates could come back and make playoffs, though it's not likely. Same with the Reds. The Reds are 14.5 games back of a wild card spot, and though they have the 3rd worst record in the National League, they're not mathematically eliminated yet. Strike 3 called on Kyle Schwarber. That's out number 2. Now, as for the Cubs have a likely chance of making playoffs this year. As of right now, they're tied with the Diamondbacks. Both the Diamondbacks and Cubs are a game back of the 2nd wild card spot in the National League, but that 2nd wild card spot is also tied between 2 teams, the Marlins and the Padres. And then you have the Nationals, who have a 3-game lead for the 1st wild card spot. The Nationals hosted the wild card game last year. The Nationals have a legitimate chance to win the division as well. They were division leaders for about 2 to 3 months, and then the Braves got hot, won 9 games in a row, and took the lead from the Nationals. Grounded right side, played by Joey Votto. He steps on first base himself. David Bodie out. And that ends the top of the 6th inning. So no runs on no hits and nobody left on for the Cubs. After 5.5 innings, it's 7-2. The Cubs are leading the Reds. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicolas Castianos. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for the Reds in this half inning. Aristides Aquino, Freddie Galvez, and Tucker Barnhart.
Ball 1, no strike.
Aquino 1 for 2 off John Lester, who's still pitching. Rowan Wicks on the right, and Kyle Ryan is on the left. Those are the 2 warming up for the Cubs. But Aquino singled for his only hit of the game. Cubs are leading this game by 5. The Reds scored 1 in the 3rd and 1 in the 4th. They got an RBI groundout from Nicolas Castianos and a sacrifice fly from Jesse Winker.
Nope.
John Lester still pitching strong, and his offense backing him up. 7 runs scored by the Cubs. As that one's foul. The count even now 2-2. But the Cubs have 3 RBIs now from Anthony Rizzo. He had a 2-run home run in the first, and then he had an RBI base hit earlier in the game. David Bodie hit a solo home run. Kyle Schwarber hit a 2-run home run, good for 2 RBIs. That's fouled off. The count's still 3-2. And Daniel Descalzo hit an RBI single. Full count pitch coming. That's belted to left field. If that stays fair, there's no doubt. Wow! That went to the top deck out in left field. Aristides Aquino with 15 home runs now in the season, and the Reds back to within 4. It's 7-3. Wow, watch this. That was left up in the zone, and there are 3 decks out in left field, and Aquino reached the 3rd deck. And that's enough for David Ross to chase John Lester from this game. Here comes Ross, taking the ball from his former battery mate. Lester pitches into the 6th. And he has an opportunity to win the game if the Cubs can hold the lead. He gave up 3 earned runs, and he leaves the game with the lead intact. Here comes Alec Mills out of the bullpen for the Cubs, making his 45th appearance of the season. He has a .402 earned run average in 69 1/3 innings pitched this year. So here comes the number 7 hitter in the Reds order. It's Freddie Galvez, switch hitter, batting from the left side for the first time in this game. Lester threw 91 pitches, gave up 3 earned runs in 5+ innings. Did pitch well. This was a quality start. Though 3 earned runs given up isn't a great number of runs to give up, his offense helped him out. So the Cubs still have a 4-run lead after Lester departed. Two and one's the count. Freddie Galvez, one of the better defensive shortstops in baseball. Has struggled offensively, though. That's why he's bounced around a few teams. Swing and a miss, counts 2-2. Started his career with the Phillies. He's played for the Padres and the Blue Jays as well. Swing and belted out toward right, but that'll go foul. The count's still even 2. And, excuse me, the count's still even 2-2. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Swing, and that's foul as well. The count remains even 2-2 on Galvez. Alec Mills fresh out of the bullpen for the Cubs. 1 run in, and that run was charged to John Lester. That pitch misses inside. Count full now, 3-2. But all 3 runs scored by the Reds were earned runs charged to John Lester. 3-ball, 2-strike count. Swing and a miss. Challenge fastball, and Mills won the battle. That's out number 1. That pitch was right over the middle. Mills looked like he was trying to throw a strike. That's what a challenge me fastball is. Hey, I'm not trying to hide anything. Here's a pitch. Hit it or don't. And Galvez did not hit it. So 1 out, bottom of the 6th. There is Tucker Barnhart, switch hitter, batting from the left side of the plate. This is game 1 of a 2-game set between these two teams. The Reds are starting a 6-game homestand with this game tonight. They're playing 2 against the Cubs and then 4 against the Pirates over the weekend. So a couple division opponents that the Reds will be playing. 1-ball, 1-strike count. Swing and a miss. That's a strike. Counts now 1-2. Just a bit low, count even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-ball, 2-strike count. Caratini giving the signs. And Mills ready to pitch. Breaking ball. Barnhart does not take the bait. Count now full 3-2. Pitcher spot on deck for the Reds. Possible that the Reds will send up a pinch hitter to the plate, but we'll see. Swing and a miss on the off speed. There's another pitch that Mills just threw right over the middle of the plate. It's not typically where you want to throw a breaking ball up in the zone because hitters can get under a pitch like that, but Barnhart couldn't hit it. Just swung right through it. That's out number 2.
Your attention, please.
And there will be a pinch hitter coming to the plate for the Reds.
Number 6.
Phillip Irvine, right-handed hitter coming up, and he'll bat for Wade Miley. Irvine batting .247 with 9 home runs and 21 RBIs at this point in the season. Naturally, he's an outfielder, but not typically in the starting lineup, so he comes off the bench and does some hitting when the Reds need it. Right now, the Reds do need some offense, but they're not going to tie the game at this point, even if Irvine were to hit a home run. The bases are empty, and there are 2 outs. Irvine, a former first-round draft pick of the Reds, is back in 2013. 2-ball, no-strike count. That finds the zone toward the top. Count now 2-1. Two-one pitch coming from Mills to Irvine. That's a pop-up. Out into left field. Schwarber seems to have a routine play. He makes the catch. And that ends the 6th inning. But Aristides Aquino hit this monster home run out to left field. Give the Reds another run. It's now 7-3. The Reds trail the Cubs going into the 7th.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Reds, the 3rd pitcher they've used tonight. Jose De Leon, making his 38th appearance of the year. He has a 4.41 ERA in 79 2/3 innings pitched. And he will face the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the Cubs lineup. Begin this half inning. Jason Hayward, Ian Happ, and Victor Caratini. Hayward 0 for 2, reached base once though. He walked earlier in the game. That's ball 1 thrown to Hayward. Hayward made his Major League debut in 2010, and in his first Major League at bat, he hit a home run. Made his debut with the Braves, played with the Braves from 2010 to 2014. As that's fouled off the count, 1-1. But Hayward in the 2014-2015 offseason was traded to the Cardinals. Was their right fielder for a season, and then hit the free agent market after the 2015 season, so he signed an 8-year deal with the Cubs. But he's been here ever since 2016, and he also has a World Series ring with the 2016 World Series champion Cubs. 1-ball, 2-strike count. Popped into the air toward left center. Nicolas Castianos there, he makes the catch, so the shifted defense helps the Reds there a bit. Castianos had that one played well. It avoids splitting the gap. 1 out, top of the 7th. That'll bring up Ian Happ. Happ, a switch hitter batting from the left side. He is 1 for 2 in this game. Singled and scored a run earlier on. Swing and a miss, counts 0-1. Happ, a former first-round draft pick of the Cubs back in 2015. And he pops that pitch up. 97 from De Leon. Catch made by Freddie Galvez. That's out number 2. So 2 outs, top of the 7th.
The catcher, Victor Caratini.
And that'll bring up the number 8 hitter for the Cubs. It's Victor Caratini, who's 1 for 3. He doubled back in the 2nd inning. Has since gone 0 for 2. 2 outs, top of the 7th. Jose De Leon still on the mound. John Lester. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say John Lester. Luis Castillo pitched 2 1/3 innings for the Reds. He gave up 5 earned runs to the Cubs. Wade Miley pitched the rest of the 3rd inning. Got the final 2 outs of the 3rd, then pitched from the 4th to the 6th inning, and in that time he gave up 2 earned runs. Jose De Leon pitching in his first inning out of the Reds bullpen. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Caratini. Switch hitter batting from the left side. Again, this is game 1 of a 2-game set between these two teams. And the Cubs leading as we're getting toward the later parts of this game. 2-2, that's inside. Count full 3-2. Pitcher spot for the Cubs on deck. Three ball, 2-strike count. Here's De Leon's pitch. Swing and a miss. Caratini down on strikes. The Cubs go down 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th inning. So after 6.5 innings, it's 7-3. The Cubs lead the Reds. It's stretch time at Great American Ballpark. So there's David Ross, the Cubs manager, coming out and most likely enacting a double switch. So let's listen in and see what the double switch is.
These changes for the Cubs. Now pitching and batting in the 7th spot, number 56, Kyle Ryan. Now playing center field and batting 9, number 5, Albert Almore.
So a double switch for the Cubs. Now pitching, it's Kyle Ryan, the left-hander. He's batting in the number 7 spot, taking Ian Happ out of the lineup. And now playing center field and batting 9th for the Cubs is Albert Almore Jr. Top of the order, do it for the Reds. Jesse Winker, Joey Votto, and Nicolas Castianos. So this is a matchup move made by David Ross. Because of the new rule that every pitcher coming into the game must face at least 3 hitters or end an inning, Kyle Ryan coming into the game gives the Cubs an advantage against 2 of those 3 hitters. Because Winker and Votto are both left-handers, and then Castianos is a right-handed hitter, but after Castianos gets faced, Ryan will be allowed to be replaced if Ross wants to do that. 1 ball, 2-strike count on Winker, who's 1 for 1. He's also walked in this game, and he hit a sacrifice fly. Down low, counts 2-2. Nicolas Castianos, Jesse Winker, and Aristides Aquino, the 3 players with 1 RBI for the Reds in this game. Ground ball left side, played by David Bodie at short. Throws to Rizzo at first, and they get the out. Winker out at first, 1 out, bottom of the 7th.
The first baseman, number 19, Joey.
Want to bring up Joey Votto to the plate. Votto 1 for 3 in this game. 308 hitter with a 396 OBP and a 479 slugging percentage. That includes his hits and at-bats from tonight's game. It's outside and a bit low too, counts 1-0. Votto has just 1 hit off Kyle Ryan in the matchups these two have had against each other. 13 official at-bats between the two, counts 2-0. Two ball, no strike count. Swing, and that's fouled off. The count of 2-1. So we're going to foul ball. The count 2-2 now on the former most valuable player in the National League. Votto's a multi-time Silver Slugger Award winner among first basemen in the National League, and he was the most valuable player of the league back in 2010. Ground set pitch to first base, played by Anthony Rizzo. Steps on first base himself. Now 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Now Nicolas Castianos up to the plate with 2 outs and the base is empty. He's 0 for 3 in this game, but one of those hitless appearances, he did get an RBI. He had an RBI ground out back in the 3rd. No ball, 1 strike count. Just a bit low and inside, count even now 1-1. Nicolas Castianos, a versatile player. He can play first, third, left, and right field. The Tigers used him versatily, or that's even a word. The Tigers used him in multiple positions when he played there. That one's hit to Kyle Ryan, the ball in front of him, and he can't make the play in time. That was an awkward play.
The third baseman, number 7,
So Castianos is on. That'll be scored a base hit. Castianos has his first hit of the game. He's now 1 for 4. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Here's Eugenio Suarez. He's walked and he's been hit by a pitch in this game. 0 for 1 officially. 2 outs, runner on first. But I was meaning to say, Castianos played all those positions for the Tigers back when he was there. He started playing outfield more toward the end of his time with the Tigers. He was an outfielder when he was with the Cubs. And signing with the Reds consistently this year, he has played left field. But here's Suarez, takes ball 1 upstairs. So we get a foul ball. Count is 1-1. Suarez, the third baseman of the Reds. Power hitter, run producer. 1 ball, 1 strike count. That's outside. Counts 2-1. Two ball, 1 strike count. And speaking of more former Tigers, Eugenio Suarez was in the Tigers minor league system before getting traded to the Reds.
I got to count 2-2.
Suarez made his major league debut with the Cincinnati Reds. And he's been here for a few seasons now. And just recently did he establish himself as a power hitter in the National League. Counts full 3-2. Castianos expected to run on the pitch. Runner goes. And that ball fouled off. Count remains full 3-2. Runner goes again, and that's fouled off again. So Castianos will once again return to first base. Count still full 3-2. Castianos expected to run again. Another full count pitch coming from Ryan to Suarez. There goes Castianos, and that ball belted to left field. No doubt about that one. That ball is gone. Eugenio Suarez with a 2-run home run, his 33rd homer of the season. And now it's 7-5. The Reds right back in this game. It's now a 2-run ball game. That pitch was well struck right down the middle, and Suarez handled it. Not quite a triple-decker, but deep out into left field. And that causes David Ross to bring in a new pitcher. It's Dan Winkler, making his 44th appearance of the year. He has a .282 earned run average in 38 1/3 innings pitched. Former top reliever with the Atlanta Braves. He just signed with the Cubs this past offseason. Now, as for Eugenio Suarez, with that 2-run home run, he went from 90 to 92 RBIs. He passed Ronald Acuna Jr. Suarez now at 92, Acuna Jr. still at 91, so Suarez second to Paul Goldschmidt among National League RBI leaders. One 0 pitch, called a strike on Moustakis, counts 1-1. Moustakis is 0 for 3 in this game. One ball, 1 strike count. That's a strike, counts 1-2. The Reds at most were down by 5 in this game, but they've cut that roughly in half. It's now a 2-run game. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Inside and a little bit high. Counts even 2-2. Too low, counts full 3-2. Aristides Aquino's on deck, and if Moustakis could reach, Aquino would represent the tying run. Aquino also homered earlier in the game, and he's a run-producing threat. Full count pitch.
That's ball 4.
That's ball 4. Moustakis reaches base. And Aquino will come to the plate.
Now batting, number 44.
Aquino having a pretty good game. He's hit a single in this one, and he's also hit a solo home run. A home run here would tie the game. And if he could find a way to reach base, he'd at least keep the line moving. But right now, Aquino represents the potential tying run. And he takes a power swing at that pitch and hits nothing. Counts 0-1. Dan Winkler replaced Kyle Ryan. Ryan got 2 outs in this bottom of the 7th inning, but gave up a 2-run home run to Eugenio Suarez. He gave up a hit to Castianos, then gave up the home run to Suarez. And now it's a 7-5 game. The Reds with a bit more hope. A 2-run deficit is more manageable than a 4-run deficit. As obvious as that sounds. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Aquino. High strike, count now 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Runner on first and 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss. Aquino is out in front of the breaking ball. Winkler gets the strikeout, and the Cubs' lead is still preserved. But the Reds get a bit closer. Eugenio Suarez hit this 2-run home run, giving the Reds 5 total. They still trail at 7-5 going to the 8th inning. You're watching Major League Baseball's virtual network, brought to you by MLB The Show 20. I'm Nicolas Castianos. 9-1-2 hitters due up for the Cubs in this half inning. Almore Jr., Daniel Descalzo, and Kris Bryant. Almore Jr. came in as part of a double switch that was executed by the Cubs in the bottom of the 7th. So Ian Happ got taken out of the game. Almore Jr. came in the number 9 spot. And the pitcher spot for the Cubs now 7th. 2 ball, no strike count on Almore Jr., who's been known more for his defense than his offense. That's why David Ross is elected to put Happ out in center, because Happ is the better offensive player. But Almore Jr. good late in games because of his defensive skills. Covers a lot of range out in center field and has a pretty good arm as well. 2-1 pitch called a strike. That evens the count 2-2. Jose De Leon still on the mound. He came in, pitched a scoreless 7th, and now he's pitching here in the 8th. As that pitch misses down low, the count's full 3-2. Ground ball right side, played by Moustakis at second. Throws to Votto at first. Mora Jr. out. He's the first out of the top of the 8th.
Now batting, second baseman, Daniel Descalzo.
Back to the top of the order for the Cubs. Here is Daniel Descalzo, who is 1 for 3, but that hit he had was an RBI single. Swing and a miss, counts 0-1.
1-1.
High and inside, count even now 1-1. One is hit up the middle, played by De Leon. He stabbed it on the mound. He throws to Votto, and that's out number 2.
The batter, the third baseman, Kris.
2 outs, top of the 8th. Here comes the number 2 hitter for the Cubs. It's Kris Bryant. Bryant 2 for 4. He's hit a couple singles, and he's also tallied a run in this game. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Base is empty, and that pitch misses outside. Counts 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss, counts 1-1. Swing and a miss. Count now 1-2 in favor of De Leon. Swing and a miss. Got him with an off-speed pitch. Bryant down on strikes. Top of the 8th inning is over. So the Cubs go down 1-2-3. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. After 7.5 innings, the Cubs have a 7-5 lead over the Reds.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and a new pitcher on the mound for the Cubs. A player who used to play for the Reds, Michael Lorenzon. Making his 39th appearance of the year, he has a 3.86 ERA in 37 1/3 innings pitched. Lorenzon was traded from the Reds to the Cubs before the deadline. Lorenzon has been a part of a Cubs bullpen that has been bolstered with his presence. 7, 8, 9 hitters due up in the Reds order. Freddie Galvez, Tucker Barnhart, and then the Reds pitcher's spot. No ball, 1 strike count. Swing and a miss. Galvez badly whiffs. Counts now 0-2. Swing and a miss. So Galvez down on strikes. Swung through that pitch and missed.
Now batting, the catcher, Tucker Barnhart.
So 1 out. Bottom of the 8th, and here is Tucker Barnhart, who was 1 for 3. Barnhart fouls that pitch off, counts 0-1. Lorenzon throwing toward 100 miles per hour. That last pitch was 99. And that hit him, look out, 99 mile per hour fastball right in the back of Barnhart. That couldn't have felt too good. Ooh, yeah. Actually, around that buttocks area. Well, at least that's a padded area of the body.
Your attention, please.
And with the pitcher spot coming up, the Reds will elect to send a pinch hitter to the plate. That looks like Josh Van Meter. Nope, I was wrong. It's Curt Casali. And that pitch misses up high, counts 1-0. Curt Casali is the backup catcher of the Reds. Second string behind Tucker Barnhart. Swing and a miss, count is even at 1. That's fouled off, the count now 1-2. Swing and a miss. So Lorenzon gets Casali to strike out off the bench. Lorenzon now with 2 strikeouts.
The center fielder, number 33.
2 outs, bottom of the 8th.
Winker.
And it'll go back to the top of the Reds order now. Jesse Winker comes to the plate. Winker 1 for 2. He singled and drove in a run. He got the RBI on a sacrifice fly that he hit earlier in the game. The 1 ball, no strike count. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. The Reds trailing by 2. Winker at this moment representing the potential tying run. Swing and a miss. Counts even at 1. That's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strike count now. Just a bit outside. Count even now. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lorenzon on the mound facing his former team. That's rocked out toward right. Back goes Hayward. It's gone! Tie game! The Reds have come all the way back. Oh, that's Great American Ballpark for you. Short right field. That ball could not be contained in the park. 7-7 ball game. Here's Joey Votto. So the Reds had scored 2 runs without the aid of a home run. Then got a solo home run from Aristides Aquino. They got a 2-run home run from Eugenio Suarez last inning, and then they got a 2-run home run right here from Jesse Winker. That's fly toward right. Joey Votto flies out to Jason Hayward. That ends the 8th inning, but not before the Reds tie the game. Jesse Winker, 2-run home run right here, and it's 7-7 going to the 9th.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Reds.
And on the mound now for the Reds is Cody Reed, a left-hander, making his 51st appearance of the season. Dangerous part of the order up now for the Cubs. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up. Anthony Rizzo, Kyle Schwarber, and then David Bodie. So Reed in the game, and 2 of the 3 hitters he's required to face are left-handed, so the matchup works out well for the Reds in this instance. Counts 1-0. That swung on and foul. The count even 1-1. One ball, 1 strike count on Rizzo. 2 for 3 in the game. Swing and a miss, counts 1-2. Robert Stevenson, the one on the left, and Lucas Sims, the one on the right. Both of them warming up, both right-handed pitchers. But Reed still has to face Rizzo, Schwarber, and Bodie before either of those 2 are allowed in the game. Swinging a soft fly ball out towards center. Well, geez, that ball kept carrying. And Rizzo will get on his way to second base. That looked like a pop-up initially, but that ball kept carrying, and by the time I figured it out, it was over the head of Winker in center. So the Cubs set up well to start the 9th. That's a double for Anthony Rizzo. And Kyle Schwarber will come to the plate. Schwarber hit a 2-run home run back in the 3rd. That's been his only hit of the game so far. That pitch misses just a bit inside. Counts 1-0. Is just a bit outside. Counts 2-0. Hitters count on Schwarber. 2 ball, no strike count. That finds the zone. Count is now 2-1. Two-one pitch. Swing and a miss. Counts even 2-2. So the Cubs have scored periodically throughout this game, and they had an early lead. The Reds were sprinkling some runs in there, but over the last few innings, they've gotten 3 home runs, which have carried them to tie the game.
Count is 3-2.
Counts full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rizzo doubled to lead off this 9th inning, and Schwarber at the plate with a full count. Swing, and that's foul, so the count's still full 3-2. Strike three called at the top of the zone. Well placed by Cody Reed, 95 miles per hour. That's a crucial first out for the Reds. Here comes David Bodie, who hit a solo home run in the third inning. He's batting here with one out and the potential go-ahead run on second base. This is also the last hitter that Reed is required to face in the game. No ball, one strike count.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Two and one's the count now on Bodie. This has turned into quite a ball game. The Cubs had as large as a 5-run lead in this game. That has gone away.
No, that's down.
And it's a 3-1 count now on David Bodie. Jason Hayward's on deck, which would be a better matchup for Reed, also being a left-hander. Toward the middle, base hit. Winker coming up charging. Rizzo trying to score. Winker's throw in is offline, and Rizzo scores from second base. And the Cubs reclaim the lead. It's 8-7 in the top of the ninth.
Jason Hayward.
Well done by Bodie. Took that low pitch and just hit a sharp ground ball up the middle. Got it past the infielders and got the run home. Now here's Jason Hayward. Cody Reed still on the mound. And Hayward takes strike one. Hayward 0 for 3. Dropped his average down to 243 now in the year. Swing and a foul ball. Now the count 0-2. Sharp line drive, foul down the right side. Count still 0-2. This is game one of a 2-game set between these two teams. The Cubs have been leading for most of the game, though the Reds came back last half inning to tie the game at 7. The Cubs have reclaimed the lead on an RBI single by David Bodie. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Just a bit low. Count even now 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Pitch to Hayward. Swing and a liner into left. That'll fall for a base hit. Runner trying for third. The throw in from Castianos just a bit late. David Bodie slides into third safely. And we'll take a look at the Cubs bench now with the pitcher spot coming up in a few batters. But Mark Zagunis, Nico Horner, Miguel Amaya, and Steven Souza Jr. One's still on the bench. And coming to the plate, it'll be Nico Horner. And I made a mistake. The Cubs did enact a double switch, so now the pitcher spot is 7th in the order. So that's why the Cubs are bringing up a pinch hitter now. The next 2 batters in the order are Victor Caratini and Albert Almore Jr. But Nico Horner at the moment is the pinch hitter. Batting for the Cubs with some more insurance runs on the base paths. Sharp line drive caught at second base by Mike Moustakis, and both runners stay put. Still 2 runners on the corners. 2 outs, top of the ninth, and here is Victor Caratini, switch hitter, batting from the right side. He's gone 1 for 4 in this game so far. He hit a double back in the second inning. That's a strike, counts 0-1. This game was lopsided at first. And it turned into quite a close game. The Cubs have led throughout most of the game. The Cubs started scoring right away in the first inning. Anthony Rizzo hit a 2-run home run. The Cubs had the lead for most of the game, but then the Reds just tied it up in the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs reclaimed the lead in the top of the 9th. That's fouled away. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Cody Reed gave up the go-ahead run to the Cubs in this top of the 9th inning. He's still on the mound. Inside. Count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Almore Jr. on deck. Runner goes from first, and that's fouled off. The count's still full, 3-2 on Carratini. Runner goes again, and that's ball 4. Cody Reed walks him.
The center fielder, number 5, Almore. Your attention, please.
And that'll do it for Cody Reed. New pitcher coming in.
Number 55.
For the Reds, it's Robert Stevenson. Making his 55th appearance of the season. He has a .465 ERA and 69 2/3 innings pitched. Tough spot here. The Cubs one big hit away from blowing the game open again. Stevenson a big out away from keeping the Reds in it going to the bottom of the 9th. That's a called strike, counts 0-1. Almore Jr. came in as a part of a double switch. A couple innings ago, Ian Happ got taken out of the lineup. Almore Jr. was inserted 9th and came into play center. The pitcher's spot was then moved to 7th in the order. Stevenson finds the zone again. Count is no balls and 2 strikes. Oh-2, swing and a foul ball. So the count's still no balls and 2 strikes on the Cubs center fielder. Outside counts 1-2. Ground ball, third base side, played by Suarez, flips to Moustakis. The throw offline, but Moustakis finds a way to get his foot back on the bag. Well played by Moustakis at second to adjust to the throw. They get the force at second, and the top of the 9th is over. So the damage limited. 1 run scored in that half inning, but the bases left loaded. So the Reds still in it. They're down by a run going to the bottom of the 9th. And here comes Craig Kimbrell on the mound for the Cubs. Has won 4 saves this season, but has 38. He is the second most saves among National League relievers. And he'll face the middle of this Reds order to start the bottom of the 9th. Nicolas Castianos, Eugenio Suarez, and Mike Moustakis. Swing and a miss, counts 0-1. A one's up high, count even 1-1. Craig Kimbrell signed with the Cubs in the middle of last season. Reports had circulated that he was searching for a $3 million figure, which that didn't end up happening, but he did get a 2-year contract worth a little over $60 million with the Cubs. And he has not been impeccable since he's been on the mound either. He does have a high save count this year, but over the last couple seasons, his ERA has been a bit higher than desired. Swing and a miss, counts 2-2. Not as elite as he was when he was with the Braves or with the Red Sox. But he still gets the job done. He's still a veteran reliever, and he's helped the Cubs more than hurt them. That's popped into the air. Caratini's under it. Caratini makes the catch, and the first batter is out for the Reds in the bottom of the 9th inning. That'll bring up Eugenio Suarez. 1 out, bases empty. Suarez 1 for 2 in the game. He was hit by a pitch, and he's also walked in this game, but his biggest plate appearance was when he hit a 2-run home run back in the 7th. That made it a 2-run game. Outside, counts 1-0. One ball, no strike count. Down low, counts 2-0. Suarez with his 2-run home run. He moved himself up to second on the RBI list in the National League. He now has the second most RBI total with 92. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. That's a high fly ball, but that'll find the seats. Counts 2-1. Just a bit inside, counts 3-1. Swing and a miss, the count's full, 3-2. Full count pitch. Too high, that's ball 4. So Craig Kimbrell just put on base the potential tying run for the Reds. 1 out, bottom of the 9th, runner on first, and here is Mike Moustakis. But before Moustakis comes to the plate, Eugenio Suarez will be relieved by a pinch runner. It's Nick Senzel, who is a stolen base threat. Very quick runner over at first base now. Moustakis 0 for 3 in the game. The responsibility is on him now. I wouldn't be surprised if Senzel tries to run from first base and get himself into scoring position. That's a strike, counts 0-1. Mike Moustakis this season has grounded into 11 double plays. A double play would help Kimbrell here. But a ball in a gap might score Senzel from first base. This is quite a tense moment for both teams. Runner goes. Pitch misses high. Caratini's throw is not in time. Senzel steals himself into scoring position.
Now running at second base, number 15.
That is a huge 90 feet for the Reds. A soft single of any kind could very well score Senzel from second base. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Swing and a miss. Count is 1-2 now on Moustakis. Just a bit outside. Counts even 2-2. The Reds still have 2 outs to work with. But the most important mission right now is finding a way to get Senzel in from second base. Strike 3 called. Moustakis went down looking. Craig Kimbrell with a pivotal strikeout there. So now the Reds have just 1 out to work with. But Senzel likely to get a good jump now from second base with 2 outs on a ball potentially put in play. Aristides Aquino at the plate. Responsible right now for the final out the Reds have. Aquino 2 for 4 in this game. He hit a single. He also hit a home run earlier in the game. It was a solo home run. It made it 7-3 at the time. That was one of 3 home runs the Reds hit toward the later part of the game. That home run was a part of the eventual comeback that the Reds had. Aquino hit a solo home run. Eugenio Suarez hit a 2-run home run. And then Jesse Winker hit a 2-run home run. Swing and a miss, and now the Reds have just 1 strike to work with. Swing and a miss. Craig Kimbrell earns the save. Leaves a runner in scoring position, and the Reds, despite making a valiant comeback, they fall short overall. It's an 8-7 victory for the Cubs in Game 1 of this 2-game set. Well, the Cubs had an early lead. They had as big as a 5-run lead in this game. They blew the lead, which prevents John Lester from getting the win in this game. But despite that, the Cubs still find a way to prevail. They beat the Reds by 1 run. You see the scoreline there. The Cubs got the bulk of their runs early. It was kind of neutral toward the middle there. Each team was scoring at a consistent pace, but then the Reds started scoring toward the end of the game. They tied it at 7 in the bottom of the 8th inning. But right in the top of the 9th, the Cubs got a run on a David Bodie RBI single.
For the Reds,
Final score of this game, 8-7.
No errors. They left 8 men on base.
Cubs ended up winning. They got that base hit. David Bodie got that base hit off Cody Reed to win the ball game. You see some of the notable players there. Anthony Rizzo got player of the game. He went 3 for 4 in this game. He also drove in 3 runs total. David Bodie played a hand in this game as well, going 2 for 5 with a couple RBIs, 1 on a solo home run, and he got the RBI single in the top of the 9th that gave the Cubs the lead again. Jesse Winker did pretty well as well. He went 2 for 3. Got 3 RBIs total in this game. Eugenio Suarez and Aristides Aquino did well as well. Suarez hit a 2-run home run. Aquino hit a solo home run and also had a single in this game. But again, the Reds just fell short. Michael Lorenzon got the win out of the bullpen for the Cubs despite giving up the tying run on the home run. He pitched an inning, struck out 2 batters, and he earned the win. Cody Reed got the loss for giving up that run to the Cubs in the top of the 9th. And Craig Kimbrell earned his 39th save of the season. And at the moment, that ties him for the National League lead in saves with 4 other pitchers. This has been a production of Major League Baseball's Virtual Network. This game and all of our games brought to you by MLB The Show 20. My name is Nicolas Castianos, and once again, the final score from Great American Ballpark. The Cubs 8 and the Reds 7.